Hello.
Welcome in, everybody.
Hello.
My light's different Kelvin.
Hello.
There we go.
Hello.
Welcome in, everybody.
Do you think Chris could take Jason in a fight? Not a chance.
No, I'm ready to die anyway. I'll just let it happen to me.
Not a chance.
Welcome in, everybody.
I think he needs an intervention. Like, you say that too often, Chris. Like he says that. I worry, chat.
No, don't worry.
Because he's always like, I'm ready. I'm just done. He's not.
No.
He needs an intervention, chat.
Do I? I don't
Yes.
think so.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
think so. I don't think so.
You put together 10 new sisters and Captain Centos. I don't know who Captain Centos.
Centos.
It sounds like a commercial guy, like a fake commercial, like Captain Centos, and Centos is like a gum, like Mentos.
Mentos
or something.
Centos?
Be Captain Centos. It was a fun trip to Vegas to get those models. Nibling, you had to go to Vegas?
To get certain models.
What? Do you live on the outskirts and you had to go to the Warhammer store? Is that what that is? I heard there was some big rage for like the 200th Warhammer store, and they made it to where you could get like a coin and a dice box, and it was like $8 million and a line around the block.
Welcome in, everybody. We're batch painting today. Doing some batch painting.
All right. First, I need to touch up the prime a little bit.
Yes. Chat. Be embarrassed for me.
Bill, they look really good. The parts that aren't primed are the parts that are so hard with a freaking rattle can.
Yeah, and
so normally when you're rattle can priming, you just want to get the top down and as many of the stuff front and back that you can get. The up underneath armpits and stuff, you generally always have to go back and airbrush prime.
Yeah, that's the problem, because I want to cake it on there, but you can't miss spots,
that's
right?
The problem,
that's
right? That's how the aerosol can starts really messing with you, is if you do too much.
Right.
Trying to get all those areas, and then you over thicken it, you get all sorts of craziness going on. Is this even open? What?
Is that a new one?
No, it's open.
Oh, okay.
It just feels new.
Yes, I was late, chat.
He wasn't late.
I was late, technically.
You weren't.
I was late.
You were here.
I was here, but I was doing things. And by doing things, I mean...
He and Gabe were helping me out by getting models primed and ready for the stream.
That's right.
So that's not being late.
Does Jason make Chris drill the bases of his models? Nibling, I will not do that.
Do what?
Drill your bases for your
bases?
Not your bases, your barrels.
All the barrels are already drilled on these.
So to answer your question, Nibling, no. I won't do it. Panic Bomb says, I did get my monthly challenge entry fee at the Warhammer store, though. Nice. I missed out on Centos, but the coin in the pin. Oh, is there like some promotional thing going on?
Did you hear anything I said?
No.
God.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I was reading through all the chats.
I don't even think you were doing that.
And I was in a different world.
I don't even think you were doing that.
No,
I think you were
100%
just ignoring me.
I wasn't ignoring you. I was reading chat.
No, you weren't.
What is this month's challenge? It's all about Jade. Lumberjack? Painting Jade. That's what it is.
The color.
That's right. Wait.
Not Chuck's wife.
Oh, yes. Somebody already made that joke. So how did... Okay, that's what I was about to read. The kill team. So did you win bank kill team matches? I did not win.
We had a fun game, though.
It was fun. It was some of those where I'm
Kill team is something where you really have to know your army, and we all went in blind just thinking it was like a normal game where you just teach us the rules and we'll get it. And you really needed to know all the nuances. Chris and I played, and neither one of us really knew what our armies did. So through the whole game, we kept saying the same thing. It's like, if I just knew more than I really do, this would have been perfect. We had a lot of fun.
I think so. It was one of those games where I wish I would have sat down and learned more of the rules beforehand. I went in a little bit.
Oh, we all went in completely blind.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, just not even knowing our own army rules is a problem.
Yeah, and there's a lot of... It's cool, though. Overall, I think the game has some really cool potential for me, specifically.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun.
Jason, do hand tattoos get lumpy at times like the ones on forearms and other places? Weird question, I know. One of those on my arm is lumpy, says
If you get lumpy tattoos, that's a problem.
What does that mean? Lumpy?
They should not get lumpy.
Well, that's something with the skin, right?
Is it new?
Yeah, thumb palette. Is it...
They shouldn't. Like, if your lines raise from time to time, that should not really happen consistently.
Yeah, tell us, thumb palette. It had them like 20 years ago. Interesting.
Weird.
Huh. Me Stout One, welcome in. We're doing up some batch painting this week. We don't get a lot of Jason this week.
No, we don't.
It's going to be me and Jordan.
2 days.
2 days. Well,
today and Wednesday.
Are you going to be here Wednesday?
Am I not?
I think you have something on your calendar.
I do?
Yeah.
What?
Let's see.
I
Group
believe you're
coaching.
incorrect.
Group coaching at 3.
Am I here tomorrow? No.
Not here tomorrow. And then you're gone Thursday.
Am I literally only here today?
I think so. I'm just now seeing this on the calendar. Jason, I know your calendar better than you do.
I do have a Wednesday thing. God dang it.
That's okay.
Yep, so today's it. You get to watch me prime models, and then I'm gone. Oh, the joys.
Oh, the joys. Oh, the joys. I think I did okay on a lot of them, though, Jason.
Oh, yeah. No, they're good. Like I said, you just can't, with a rattle can, you can't get into these nooks and crannies, especially on stuff that has so many. Up underneath shoulder plates and stuff like that.
Mo's asking, gone to where? Where you going?
I don't have to tell you.
Wow. Sorry, Mo.
I don't have to share that with you. I have a business trip to LA on Thursday. We have a prep meeting for that business trip on Wednesday, I guess. And then my meeting is on Friday, and I come back Saturday morning. So it's just one of those quick turnarounds, kind of like I did at Gen Con.
Yeah.
I fly out Thursday afternoon, come back Saturday. So
no, I will not be showing you how to paint hot pink plaid. It's going to be Jordan. We're going to teach you how to do some actual painting. Otherwise, it would be me.
Otherwise, what? If you weren't teaching real painting?
Well, no. For me, painting hot pink plaid, I will not be doing that.
You said you were.
I was, but then I couldn't figure out the scheme that I wanted to do, and now Jordan's here.
The scheme of hot pink plaid?
Yeah.
That makes no sense, Chris.
I know what the scheme is. I just don't know how to execute it.
You told us last week, chat, I need somebody to go back and clip.
I know, I lied.
The specific time in this near history, recent past, where Chris says, I have it all figured out. And I said, you do? And he goes, yep, 100% confident. His words, not mine. Didn't you?
I kind of did.
Kinda or did?
Jen said, did you get your hair cut? I did, Jen. I got myself a haircut.
He looks okay.
It does look okay. Courtesy to my mom. She cuts my hair.
Your mom cut your hair?
Yes, my grandmother was a hairdresser her whole career, and my mom learned from her.
What does that have to do with your mom?
Well, she learned from her.
Oh, okay.
So my mom's been cutting hair for, gosh, my whole life. Jordan will guide you. Here's a question. Do you ever use a mask or spray booth for airbrushing?
Nah.
Yes, Nibling, I do. I'll apologize. You don't need to clip it and timestamp it. I'll just apologize to you now. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can do it, chat. I could try, but it might be rough. And we like teaching you things on this channel. We have an educational portion to this whole thing, by the way. How long do you let the primer dry? Val, Airbrush, rattle can dries pretty quickly. You know, You've seen me have to turn around that, what is it, that guy, Sanguinius? I had to do him in like
15 minutes?
15 minutes. So, letting it dry probably for 24 hours is good, but, tomato, tomato. These guys are what, 30 minutes?
You tell me, I don't know. You primed them.
Let me think about that. 30 minutes, technically. Panic Bomb says, I need to learn by doing. Yeah. Nyling says, would you call these streams edutainment? I would say so.
I think that's a good way to say it.
Are you having a good time?
Woo-hoo.
Are you being entertained?
Pop in close. They're not going to be able to tell because our black primer is so freaking matte, but I did my custom Praetor with Jump Pack.
He's pretty dope.
Very happy with this guy.
Welcome in, Wad. I learn by doing. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I have some plans for Mr. Jordan. We have some fun projects coming up.
We do?
Well, there's a couple models I was thinking about having him do.
You doing Star Wars stuff?
Maybe.
Am I not supposed to tell people? What do you
mean?
Well,
I have options, and I don't know how public they are. Right? Something we have to talk about, Jason.
Why do we have to talk about it?
Because I want to talk to you about it. See if I can do it.
Here we go. It's another 15-minute meeting.
No, it won't be. I'm done with those meetings, too. I've determined as of today, 5-minute max. Ted Onion says, for the life of me, I can't get Pro-Acryl primer through my airbrush without clogging unless I use a thinner. Any ideas?
Your airbrush has a clog in it.
Ted Onions, yeah, I can't relate there. Our primer is amazing through it. So maybe you need to deep clean?
Yeah, I would say that you are probably suffering from the type of ailment that a lot of people have in their brush, that they have a clog in the nozzle. With other paints, you're thinning them down so thin that they're able to get past that clog. And when you put a paint in there like our primer that's not thinned, then you wind up with it, causing you issues. It's not always the case, but I can't really think of any other reason why it would be an issue. I just do this guy did just do that guy.
Jason's doing some touch-ups that he's using our airbrush primer right now, but I pre-prime most of these guys.
Yeah, he hit him with our rattle can primer.
Baby J says, I'm a slave to Christopher Hive Mind. What will this zombie Jordan paint for you, Sushi Man? Well, I'll think about it. I have a couple ideas. I haven't landed on it yet. We do have an airbrush primer sand. He's using that right now.
We make 3 different primers. We make airbrush, rattle can, and brush on.
Yeah, Ted Onions, I'll check it out, but it was a brand new, never used Ultra 2024. Yeah, that's extremely odd, Ted Onions.
Remember that brand new, never used doesn't mean anything. It has factory gunk in it. You always deep clean your brushes before using them out of the factory. They get lots of residue from the turning, right? Very fine metal flake. And then you don't know how long they've sat in stock. So it could just be something simple gunked up at the nozzle. Could be a nozzle mismatch. Do other paints work through it?
Senbad said, hello there. It looks like I've jumped into a good stream. Yes, you have. First
If
time chat.
If
Welcome
our
in.
other paints work through it without thinning, then I would contact support. There could be an issue like your primer is too viscous for some reason.
That's really weird.
But our primer is the same viscosity, if not a little bit lower, actually, than our normal paints. So, if you can spray our normal paints through it, then that's the only thing that would say that the primer might need to be replaced.
Valkid, for the brush on, do you thin it all or just straight out of the pot?
All of our primer is straight. So the first thing to understand with primer is that if you thin it, it's no longer a primer. It's just a paint.
And that includes the brush on.
Yeah. You shouldn't use, you can use like a little bit of dampness on your brush, of course, because, you know, nobody likes the way acrylic paint comes off the brush if the brush isn't damp. But don't actively thin it, right? Primers aren't intended to be thinned. You know, in automotive priming, you can use a reducer, but you have to be very, very careful. And that's when you're using lots and lots of layers of primer anyway and sanding between them. When you're trying to do one coat, which is rough, I mean, even if you're doing 3 passes, it's one coat. You're never sanding primer on models like we paint. And so when you're doing that, you need to make sure that the primer isn't thinned so that you're not making the polyurethane any weaker. Otherwise, it's just paint.
The rubber handle, it's a Grex Airbrush, and it was the custom monument one we had with them. So it's just a rubber handle.
Yeah, for a bunch of years we did the custom Grex Airbrush with them. I think they've been out of stock for a long time.
Sedman is saying, what scheme are you planning on using these jump pack intercessors for?
These are Horus Heresy. These are not intercessors. They're various marks 2 and 3 for Horus Heresy, and they are my blood angels. So we have a color scheme that we've been doing for our blood angels, for our Horus Heresy army. That's one of the jump pack sergeants. And then we've been painting the Saturnine guy from the new edition of Heresy as a Saturnine and Praetor, or Praetor and Saturnine armor. So we've been doing him on stream. And one of the things that came up was a lot of people are always asking, like, how do I attack when I'm doing a larger army? How do we go about setting yourself up for success as you have to paint a ton of models? And so that's what we're doing. We're painting 2 full squads, and then a partial squad of Sanguinary Guard, and then the Praetor right now. So we've got 2 full squads of Assault Marines, a custom Praetor that I built, and a partial squad of Sanguinary Guard. So the first thing you got to do, obviously, is get a good prime coat. Even coat of black. I start all of my models. I say all. There's probably times where we've done lighter primer, but very rarely. I start most of my projects from black so that I get a good definitive shadow base on them. Much easier to start from a place of darkness and work into your light than vice versa as you're starting out.
Simbad says, I have a question. Was the Death Company around in Horus Heresy?
No. They didn't happen until Sanguinius died. The Red Thirst, right? The Black Rage. The Red Thirst was kind of a thing that existed. They knew there was an issue in the Horus Heresy where they would get angry and their rage was hard to stifle. They had been, the blood drinkers or something like that before they were the blood angels. I don't remember what they called themselves. They had gray armor, I believe, before they found Sanguinius, before they found their Primarch. And they would sometimes drink the blood of their enemies on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. And so they've always had this slated weird, hunger. When they found Sanguinius, he put it past them, and they changed the name of the Legion to the Blood Angels. But it was only when he died at the hands of Horus that collectively the Legion went insane, or some of them did, and they will now, over time, fall victim to thinking everybody is Horus, and seek revenge for their Primarch's death. So there's a whole story behind that. But that didn't happen until the very end of the Siege of Terra in the books, and the Death Company wasn't created until after. So you didn't have chaplains and things like that that watched over the Death Company in the Heresy.
Did all the legions change their armor color after they found their Primarch?
That I don't know. No, I don't think so. The Dark Angels didn't. The reason for the Blood Angels doing it is because he renamed the Legion. They were called something different, and I'm not going to remember what they were called. It was like Blood Drinkers or Flesh Terrors, or it wasn't Flesh Terrors, but you get my drift. It was something like that. And I think their armor was gray. And then they switched over to the Blood Angels. After they found him. Their weird warp-touched wing-bearing Primarch.
Cyber saying, what's your tips on painting brown leather for like holsters or bags?
We got a bunch of really good tutorials up that will show you how we typically do it. There's a really fast way we did last week as well, where we just do browns and then transparent brown over the top. So dark brown, medium brown, light brown. Last week, and I was doing it on the leather on the back of the Saturnine guy. Right, you want to pop in close on this? Right,
nice.
Can you get in closer?
Yeah.
Right, on that, you know, I just did kind of the scritches with brown and warm flesh, you know, so it kept it kind of yellow. And then I went over the top of that with our brown transparent to keep it rough. But it gives you the ability to just kind of paint a nice leathery look. Same thing up front. I did it with darker browns and then did the brown transparent over it. But you can get all sorts of different brown leather looks from that. You don't have to worry necessarily about the browns you use initially. They'll have a tendency to shift the hue a little bit of the transparent brown. But the transparent brown is a really nice, rich, warm brown. And so you can use that a lot. Oh, I'm going to need water in the eye washers.
You need more?
Yeah, they're both empty. Jordan has been here. Yeah. Perfect. Dusk Raiders became the Death Guard. Oh, yeah, that's right. Luna Wolves were Luna Wolves throughout the course of the prosecution until the heresy started, and then they became the Sons of Horus. They changed their livery when they turned. So they didn't change because they found Horus. They were the Luna Wolves all the way up until the beginning of the heresy. They were white armor. They changed their armor color when they became the Sons of Horus. Which I assume is in the canon someplace. I don't remember that in the books talking about changing their livery and all of that. I remember changing to the Eye of Terror on their stuff because Horus wore the Eye of Terror on his chest. But he had white armor. They had white trimmed with black as Luna Wolves.
One is enough.
Yeah, it's probably okay.
I'll fill that.
Nope, he didn't. They did not change when he was the War Master. They stayed. They stayed all the way up until the heresy. So they went heretic.
Are those printed bases? Did you see that question? Are those printed bases or ones you put together and then the models before priming?
These are all Elric's bases.
They're super cool.
Elric's Hobbies. So they're poured resin, not 3D printed. Their team does them all molded.
Really?
Yeah, they have cool. Various people sculpt them out of. I mean, all of these are sculpted out of everything from probably tree bark to cork to whatever.
Yeah.
They have artists put them together and then they mold them. If you had to choose your favorite Legion pre-heresy and afterwards, you got to say it's the Iron Warriors. I was never an Iron Warriors fan. I don't know why.
I like the look of them. They're kind of fun.
I was they would kind of be up my alley because they're all artillery and siege breakers and things like that. So it resonates with me. Plus the fact they use automata, you know, and more of the mechanicum stuff. So in principle, I would like them. I think it might be because of the hazard stripes.
Oh, you're not a fan?
Why in the world do you put hazard stripes on your armor?
Just in case.
There's just literally no reason.
Like, don't pass.
There's just literally no reason. It makes no sense. It literally
Don't
makes no
pass.
sense. It's probably that's the reason.
Why
I'm
is
not a
it
fan.
so old?
Huh?
Why did they have that in so much of the old art? Because it's everywhere.
You know, it's just back in the day trying to find something that was unique, I guess.
Oh. No rhyme
like Power Fist, like we painted that Inquisitor with this Power Fist with the hazard stripes on it.
It's
like, oh really? No kidding? Hazard?
I just did a really cool
because
hazard
John
stripe.
Blanche.
I did a really cool hazard stripe on my like a small panel this weekend.
Do you like basing models before priming anyway, so you can just paint it all together? It depends on the project. I typically like to do my models all assembled.
Yeah.
There's a rare occasion where I will do models that are in sub-assemblies, but it's super rare. Like, if you've been watching the stream for a long time, how many sub-assemblies have I done? One recently where we did the surfboard.
I mean, but that's not... I don't even count that as a sub-assembly.
Because of the way we were painting the surfer girl, we did the surfboard as a sub-assembly, right? But that was it, because I just wanted to be because we were freehanding all the wood grain, and in order to do that, I needed to have the board by itself. So that was something I thought of beforehand. But a lot of times I don't care. I want to have the whole model together so I can understand in my head how light is going to work on the whole model, as opposed to doing it in parts and pieces. Man, I the one thing that I really can't stand about Arizona is that we never have cold water in the summer.
I know.
It's such a drag.
I had to walk over there.
It's such a drag.
Because they're not using this
I
one.
mean, warm water's fine for what we're doing, but it just makes me remember that I hate that so much.
Barton
All right,
Kell
first
says,
color, Payne's Gray.
Oh. Do you guys ever do Kingdom Death minis?
Yeah, we have in the past. We haven't in a long time.
Why are you using Payne's Gray?
Because that's what the color recipe is.
Oh, you're right.
You know
it's
this.
not dark plum.
You know this.
I just did dark plum. I was literally just doing this the other night.
You know this, Chris.
That's true.
My whole Blood Angels army is predicated on the Payne's Gray shadow color, followed by dark plum, then Pyro Red, then Orange Red.
I'm going to keep that out so you guys can see. He's doing quite a bit of these guys. Is there any rhyme or reason to this coat?
Just everywhere.
Everywhere?
To make it quick, you just put this everywhere. Right. It's your shadow. If you wanted to take the time, if you're only doing a couple of dudes, then you could just, paint from up underneath and just hit the base layers. But you've heard me talk about it before. I think having your entire base coat on the model stem from the same shadow color gives you a more uniform approach to your scheme overall.
Forsaken Painting, can I just say I love this channel. I'm always watching. You've taught me so much, and your recent layering video was killer.
Thank you. It was one of those things that while we were doing it, I was like, you know what? Here, watch this. You could tell from the way I was talking, right? I was like, here's the deal.
This is it. Just
this
do
is
this to be a better painter.
Real talk. This is not a, hey, if you like this. This is a, if you learn to paint this way, you will enjoy painting 100% more. And I was really, I don't typically get that cocky because it's not anything I created.
I don't think it was cocky.
But we've had so many people be like, oh my God, it put into focus something that I've had such trouble with over the years. And so for me, that's what the key is, right? I'm trying to get it to where light bulbs go off and it's not about ego or, naming something, a particular technique or anything. Everything that I have is stuff I've learned from watching other people, playing around, doing it myself. And if it can, any of it passed along can help you get to a point quicker. You're not going to go to school and learn how to paint miniatures, at least not yet. So if there's anything I pass along, it turned out really good. The comments have been really great. Super stoked.
We've decided if you live in Arizona that we're going to start a painting 101 class. that
Not far off.
that you can come here and you can learn.
Not far off. We were planning on doing a really cool, if it, cross our fingers, we're going to do an experience center here in the HQ building. We are hopefully signing a lease on another new building. And assuming that all that goes off in the next day or so, then we will have a start somewhere before the end of the year on the Monument Experience Center, where we would have painting classes and gaming and all sorts of cool fundamental nerd stuff going on. Excited.
Is the next new building where we'll be keeping Chris? Yes.
No.
I'm out of here.
He's staying here.
Nope. This is it for me, chat.
Don't let him say that, Chad. He needs an intervention.
I'm living in the parking lot.
Oh, that part, maybe.
I would, actually.
He said that if we gave him hookups, he'd buy a trailer and just live, like he'd have his van. It was your van, right? You said you'd get a van done. You have hashtag van life.
Wouldn't even think about it.
Hashtag van life. You'll notice that for me, it makes sense on things like base coating, especially when doing the airbrush. Do the whole army. You know, I hope it goes without question. This part is pretty mindless. It's, do everything. I know what my color scheme is, so I know what certain things wouldn't be red on this guy. But to keep my speed going, I don't care. I'm painting everything as if the whole army was in the same color. So, I'm getting the blue on everything, right?
Yeah.
The paint's gray. I don't care. It would slow me down to say, put the blue only where the blue needs to go, because, of course, we're working at scale, getting just the underarm and not the gun, because the gun doesn't need to be blue. I haven't been painting the guns that way. I do those in blacks and grays.
I zoomed in a little bit for you. Now, Jason, can you explain to people, because they're going to see you do this batch painting, and you're just going for it. You're not doing any mixes. You're not doing any thinner. Can you explain why Pro works so well through the airbrush for something like this, where you're doing a lot?
What do you want me to talk about?
Essentially, explain why Pro works so well through the airbrush without any thinning. Like what?
Well, it's the way it was built to.
Yeah.
It was built as a no nonsense way to paint. I'm a lazy painter, is the only way I can really say it. It's probably not a good word, lazy, but I'm a painter that doesn't like a lot of distractions in my painting. I want to get paint on the brush, airbrush or regular brush. I want to put paint on it. I want to put it on the model. What Chris says is not just a tongue-in-cheek thing. It's like, put paint on the model. That's what we're here to do. I'm not here to mess around on the palette. I'm not here to mix paints till I'm blue in the face or have to add mediums to them and things like that to do just the simple stuff. So, as I paint, it became evident, over 40 plus years that I was spending more time messing with the paint than actually painting in a lot of cases. And so when I was given the opportunity to make our own paint line, I said, well, okay, what are the things that keep me from enjoying painting? And are any of those things that I could fix in the line of paint? And so we did. We made the paint basically flow better. It has a lower viscosity than most paints you'll find out there, but high opacity. Mostly when you talk about low viscosity acrylics especially, you talk about paints that are very see-through, like our transparents, right? And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you need. But the thing you can't get out of a transparent paint is opacity. And opacity is where you want to start. So we wanted opaque paint that felt lightweight, is what I say. Feels thinner, but isn't really. You notice that I just as a quick side bar, I sprayed some models. I put 2 cups of Payne's Gray through there, and then I rinsed it out, right? So I wanted to make sure that I didn't just continue to put paint in the brush without rinsing. So every 2, maybe 3 cups, depending on how fast I'm going, of paint that I put in the brush, I put more. I clean it real quick, rinse it. You don't have to clean, but I rinse it real quick.
Your PSI and your needle size?
Needle size is 0.03. My PSI is about 22. We don't ever change PSI around here. We spray everything at about 22 PSI. We're in the desert of Arizona, so really dry. Hot.
Hopefully that answered kind of everybody's question. I just saw everybody kind of had that same PSI question, so
Sure.
those are his details. And then, yep, right out of the brush.
Work about 3 to 4 inches away from the model, constantly moving. Don't let your paint build up. You know, when airbrushing especially, you got to get a level of confidence in your ability to get an even coat across the model. You don't want the paint building up in spider webbing. So again, I'm not thinning, like Chris alluded to. The paint just works. I will thin as we get to our highlights, but for base coats where I just want that cover, I want the color to cover in one pass. I don't want to go back over these again with blue. I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. And normally I would say when I want a vibrant base coat, you know, obviously, this Payne's Gray isn't exactly vibrant in the terms of brightness, but I am getting the full color of this paint, right? What we're seeing here is the way Payne's Gray really is. I'm not having to go weakly over the black, although the nice thing with starting dark like this is if I miss an area, if I don't get Payne's Gray on everything, the black is saving us. The black becomes the shadow along with the Payne's Gray at that point, so makes it easy. It's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, it's a cool army.
There's only half of them. Not even. I think I have 68 guys.
I didn't prime your Saturnine guys.
No, I didn't want you to.
Okay.
I'm moving away from those. I don't. After all of that work on the Saturnine
really?
Praetor, I'm probably not going to use him.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He's too many points. I can get a whole nother squad of Assault Bros.
Oh.
Right? I can get 2 additional squads of Assault Bros plus a Praetor with a retinue.
Oh, wow.
For the cost of him and those Saturnine guys. He's just so expensive. He by himself is 260 points.
Really?
And then them as a unit, together they're like 600 points. And a unit of Assault Marines is like 120.
260.
So I could have like 50 more dudes.
Oh, wow. Numbers.
I could put way more wounds on the table, which is kind of the way I look at it. And when I start, I usually like elite armies so that I don't have to paint a lot of models. just being flat out with you. I don't like having to paint, a million models for an army, just because I tend to get bored, right? So a lot of what we're doing here is going to be you listening to me and the therapy of me talking my way through painting an army that would normally bore me. Not that I don't like the Blood Angels that I'm doing or any of that. It's that I get bored as we go along.
Well, yeah.
Right? I just do. It's hard to not feel the tedium with it. So you'll find that with me, I focus on doing, one color on every model and just repeat until the army's done. There's a time where you're doing your final highlight and you do it across 50 dudes and then you're done.
Yep.
And it feels good. It feels good as you set the final model down on models 1 through 49, but, I prefer not to just finish one model unless it's my color test model. As you've seen, I've got a couple color test models for this army. But I prefer not to go through and finish individual models in the army. But you may find that that's what keeps you going. It's a lot of what we'll talk about. Is that this is going to be different for everybody, and what really gets it to feel good for you to paint a lot. I really like my Praetor.
He looks pretty cool.
He's got a lot of tchotchkes on him, so I'm probably going to yell about it when I get to painting him.
No,
who put all this stuff on this guy? And it's my fault on this one, chat. But
they're a Chechapes.
I was like, how do you get a Praetor with a jump pack when they don't make that model? How do I get something that I'm going to be happy with at the end of the day? So I just made my own.
There is not an app for Horus Heresy, Senbad. How can Jason be bored with Chris's antics happening all stream? Oh, we can bore him.
I'm never bored with you guys.
He doesn't hear me half the time, so
I stop listening.
Yeah,
I hear you.
No, you tune me out.
I guess it depends on how you define those words. You're saying.
Yes, that. Let me rephrase that.
Hearing, I think, is not active.
Selective hearing.
I think hearing is not an active thing. It's a passive thing. I hear a lot.
Oh,
I don't listen.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Great.
Is that the way to say that?
Sure.
Listening is the active part of hearing.
Whatever.
Hearing just happens as long as you have ears that function.
Oh, boy. He doesn't hear me, chat.
What?
It's selective hearing is what my mom would call it. You're selective hearing.
I think it's selective listening. We just don't like saying that because it makes us the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy. I'm the bad guy.
You're not the bad guy. You primed all my models.
No, we've determined this.
And Gabe probably feels real bad because he busted a sword on a model, and
I didn't set him up for success.
Yeah, he should have never been doing that. But we probably need to go talk him off a cliff.
That's okay. Not an official app for GW. No, they don't have one for Horse Heresy.
No, there's a New Recruit.
Oh, New Recruit
is the app.
See now,
that you can get that takes the place of the old Battle Scribe.
Yeah,
I don't think they do Battle Scribe anymore.
It's so. I just did a really cool, because the scheme I'm going for is those old fire wasps, right?
I don't know what that is.
It is like Legion Ignatium or something for my Titan.
Oh, for your Titan, yeah.
It's because they're like some of the original guys. And they had a lot of big hazard stripes and honeycombs on them, right?
Yeah.
I did two panels with hazard stripes, and I love how they came out.
That model is looking really good.
I'm very happy.
I love
I finished the bottom.
The template you put on it for the honeycomb stuff looked really good too.
I did 2 shoulder plates with the honeycomb thing, and it came out great.
Nice.
Probably the funnest model I've ever painted. Besides my Gargants. Chat, I have not put any pictures in chat for you either.
Did you not? I thought
not
you did
yet.
that day.
No, I literally forgot. I just remembered till right now.
Not painting the pink as he said he would, and not showing you his models.
I know.
This man.
I'm a bad person.
Bad person.
I'm a horrible person.
100% horrible person. Well, maybe 60% horrible. Maybe not even 60. Maybe like 30% horrible.
Truthfully. Here, you know what? I'll do it right now. You ready? You ready for this, chat?
Hold him to it, chat.
Hold. I'm going to get to all your beautiful little questions. And by beautiful little questions, download. There we go. Hold. Chat, am I a hot mess? If I squeeze a bottle of queso at Walmart, am I tempted to buy it and squeeze it directly into my mouth? Yes. I wouldn't do that in public.
You wouldn't?
Squeeze... No, these are Blood Angels, not Black Templars. Would I do that? No. Nibling?
Yeah, if you're just joining us, I'm painting Blood Angels blue.
Yes. There's a rhyme and reason. All right,
Hold.
Hold. 1 second. I'm showing you all this work.
Yeah, if you have not seen my work up for my Blood Angels, it is a really cool paint scheme. It's red, but having the cool shadow that the Payne's Gray affords us is really, really great. I built my own Sanguinary Guard here. They brought them back in the Legacies PDF, so I was very happy. I was not happy that I didn't have a jump pack retinue that was worth a damn.
There you go, chat. Check out the work in progress. I keep to my word. These models are cool, though. These, your command ones, those jetpacks. The shields are really cool.
Yeah, these I'm only going to do the Payne's Gray on, the Sanguinary Guard, because their armor is all going to be gold.
Oh.
So they will get the same Payne's Gray base, but then for them we have to go with the dark yellow-green workup. We can't do the red.
All right, chat. I put it in the work in progress. Go for it. Go check it out. Pull the old switcheroo and make them Ultramarines? No, we're not going to do that. But Ryan...
No, we were not going to do that.
Ryan has been making a masterclass style Ultramarine video. The last Ultramarine... No, not Ultramarine. Last Space Marine video you'll ever have to watch. We cover all of it.
He really did get very thorough with that.
Oh, yeah.
He had to have me come and do a voiceovers, and he's like, okay, here's where I need to have you talk about the purity seal. I was like, really?
Yeah.
It's like, I never cared about the purity seal. He goes, that's why I need you to talk about it, because there wasn't anything in the video for
Most of it is just you're like, I'm doing this thing. And, but yeah, we break it down for you. John, thank you so much for that sub. Ooh, is this Blood Angels? Yes, it is Blood Angels. Currently building Alpha Legion tanks. Nice.
Very cool.
Where off the web did you get the picture of the Titan legs from? False. Those are mine, Agrippa. I see what you did there. That's by me. The Bug King says, Jason is a fruit. A fruit, I tell you. Probably an apple or an orange. The Bug King.
He doesn't know anything. That guy doesn't know anything. He tells you that using cork on your bases is bad.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
It's a choice. Oh, I'm sorry. You mean cork as into faux rocks, not like how you hold it as a handle.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
He's a horrible person.
Artistic Outlaw.
He's a horrible
Would
person.
you use this method for Blood Angels if you were doing a single model with a brush instead of an airbrush? If so,
Yeah.
and if yes, what would you change about the approach?
Nothing.
The
Same,
Bug Kings, I
same
hate
exact
cork.
approach. No need to change anything. You can take this and move it to brush only very easily. Same colors, right? Your technique obviously has to change as you go from airbrush to brush because you're going to have to spend your time blending differently. But other than the standard, process change, you would think I just cleaned that. I just gummed up the works even worse is what it looks like.
Chance just gave me he's been liking all of my stuff too. So yeah, I've been enjoying painting that model. It's been fun.
The Titan?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can tell you're having a good time with it.
Yes.
I like when people get inspired like that, right? It's very easy to forget what is fun about painting.
I
It
really
can become
feel
a chore, especially if you're, and I say this especially because I'm not as big a gamer as I am a painter.
Yeah.
For me, it's very easy to get distracted with all the nonsense, and just want to move on to the next model. If you're a gamer, you probably have to at some point in time you want to get your army done.
Well,
that's where I'm going with this, right? Is that I'm like, you know what? I just want to get an army done. I want to have this army, like we joked about last week or whenever it was. It's like I really am more concerned with how this army looks in the case.
Yeah,
it's built completely for narrative and fluff. It has nothing to do with playability,
right?
Or very little. I'm sure that with the right general behind it, that could win anything. But I don't play very often, so I'm not really having high hopes.
The whole theme of the army will look great, though.
Yeah, that's the thing,
the whole
right?
point.
I will have an amazing all jump pack Blood Angels army, which for me
is cool.
Is what Blood Angels are all about.
Artistic Outlaw and Vispid are asking how Kill Team went on Friday. How did the Vespids do?
Chris and I played a game. I technically won. I did not use my rules correctly. And Chris didn't know all of his. So it was really just practice. So win, lose, or draw. It was fun because I set out to steal Chris's sandwich from one of his little dudes, and technically I didn't. So I would say Chris got the win because of that.
You talking about the sniper with the sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh.
I set out to steal your sandwich. That was the whole goal.
Yeah.
And I did not get the sandwich.
What's funny is
he has a sniper that has like a
little
anti-tank gun.
Yeah.
And that guy killed everything he looked at, every bug he looked at except one. He shot at me one time and only did 90% of my wounds.
Yeah.
Because I got some really lucky critical saves.
Yep.
But the game mechanics and stuff I like.
I think it'll be fun.
The thing that I said to Blake, my buddy Blake, who sat with us, thanks so much to him for doing that.
Yeah. He was an awesome dude.
I think everybody had fun. I think that we all kind of went into it thinking that like other war games, we would just kind of learn the rules and your army wouldn't be as big of a factor. Like your list rules wouldn't be as big of a factor as they are. In Kill Team, your list is more how you play than the rules. The rules are very short. They fit on one page. It's the fact that everybody's units all have so many rules that break the main rules.
Yeah.
And that makes it really tough to to get down with because none of us walked in, I think, knowing what our armies did. Maybe
Yeah.
Jordan did because he pays attention to that stuff, but the rest of us didn't really care. We were just like there to have fun. So I think we missed out on a lot of what could have been,
I think so.
but we all noticed that, and we had a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens.
I put a little ammo box next to the sniper, and just thematically, and it actually made sense when I started reading the rules because you get little re-rolls based off of that little ammo box.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, that actually is
That's
kind of
probably
cool.
exactly where that's supposed to go.
That it literally
Next to one of your snipers
right
to get those rerolls because your snipers are literally brutal and will kill anything.
Yep.
So having the reroll to reroll that, I don't know, maybe I think you missed like one time because they hit on 2s.
I hit pretty
so
well.
it's so stupid. He would anytime he missed and rolled a 1, he'd roll it into a 6. It was so frustrating. I mean, I still got out of the way because my guys move.
Yes.
And I learned in turn 1, just looking at the power of his rifles and stuff, that I needed to make sure I did not get under his guns unless there was a better positive trade for me.
Yeah.
Because Vespids don't shoot very well, don't hit very well. I mean, we hit better in melee than he does, but, you know, trying to get into melee with little dudes at the back of the map with sniper rifles isn't going to work very well for you.
Right.
So I just kept flying my bugs in and out of pure cover and keeping them in concealment and getting victory points.
Yep. It was fun.
So I wound up with 10 victory points to 2. I think it was 10 to 2.
It was a fun time. Let me go up here. Here's a question. Question for Airbrush. Do I use a booth or is it really not that necessary? Or is a respirator enough because I only have my room next to my big tower PC and I'm not sure if I'm going to damage my PC components.
Yeah, so I would say that in an environment where you have delicate components and stuff, that you probably want an airbrush hood someplace that evacuates that through a filter, just so you keep it off stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we have a huge room here, but even here, I bet that over time, there's like a fine dust on stuff if we airbrush a ton.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way it works. And then for a respirator, yeah, we would always recommend it. You don't see us doing it because we have good ventilation here. It's in a commercial facility, you know, so we don't. But should you? Probably.
Niken Heyman says, hello, Jason from the UK. I'm attempting to replicate your BA recipe. As is a style I love, the only mental block I have is with the inevitable correct mistakes with the brush. Any advice? Inability to correct mistakes with the brush.
You mean because you've airbrushed everything? Is
Yeah,
that what you're talking about?
I think so. That makes sense.
There's not an inability to correct things. It makes it harder. Because you're going to have to go back and you know, blend or airbrush again, right? If you can feel confident enough, you know, you'll see me go back and touch up the areas with the airbrush after I've run into a problem that way. There's generally not a whole lot of effort that you have to put forth to do that, but you got to be comfortable working close, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, my needle's not running correctly.
Crashing. Adam says, my last company was a textiles place and we made paints and coatings. Our head chemist took some paint and broke it down and he said, unless you're painting your entire car in a booth with no ventilation, this stuff is very safe.
Oh, yeah.
So set your worry level based on how much you're painting, really. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's never good to get foreign particulates or solids in your lungs.
That's
right?
just the, that's
That's
science.
just the root of it all, right? You should always be careful with that. And so you know your issues better than I do. If you're asthmatic, definitely have something going on.
You know what I've been doing? Here's something, just a tip to everybody. You know, on Prime Day or whatever you want to do, you can get a little air purifier for your desk at home. That's what I have, and I turn it on. It has an ionizer.
One of those little atomizer. No, it's called
It's some air filter, but it has a little ionized setting.
ionizer. That's what it is.
And I use that, and I can't tell you how awesome it actually
that charges
works.
particles in the air so that they fall. So
it's very
that
good.
helps a lot. That pulls dust out of the air is what it's built for.
Yep. And I clean it out, and I'll wash it, and you can watch all the paint like that'll collect
If you run
in there.
one of those in your house, you realize very quickly how dusty things are because you have to dust your house more often because it shows you all.
I'm not
stuff.
even painting anything.
Yeah.
How's this dirty? And I'm like, oh
Dust
man,
all over the damn place. Yeah, it's always a blast.
little air purifier for your desk. That's what I do. Yes, Wad, you should stop shoving pudding into your lungs.
Pudding?
Pudding.
Don't do that.
So Wad says, so I should stop shoving pudding in my lungs.
100%.
Yes.
Well, that's not what your lungs are for.
No pudding.
You don't eat with your lungs. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's weird, right?
I thought
Who
that's
knew?
where all the food goes.
Who knew?
Who knew?
I'm going to have
Speaking
to
of who knew,
clean this real quick, so bear with me, chat.
hey, we'll bear with you because it's 3 p.m. Monument Standard Time.
Is it? We've already
That's
been doing
right.
this an hour?
Everybody's loving
Oh
this
God.
batch painting.
Oh, my God.
See, here's the cool, satisfying part of where we're at right now. Obviously, you only put one coat on of just Payne's Gray.
Yep.
But right now, feels good,
Feels good.
you know?
That's the thing, that the way that I paint in batches like this, every color feels like progress.
Yep.
Right? A lot of times I will take a picture, and it seems weird because I don't post a lot of this type of painting on the internet. Chris and his gang usually do all of that for us. But there's a world where I take pictures that I never show anybody of all of this stuff, so that I can see the progress I'm making, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can look and say, okay, at the beginning of the day, this is what I was looking at. And at the end of the day, this is where I'm at. And then I go home and I actually look at those.
I do.
It's kind of a neat thing, right? It's a neat way to feel like you are making progress. Don't kind of lessen the impact that can have.
I did that with my Titan. I have a bunch of pictures on my phone.
They call them progress pics for a reason. Sometimes it's not to show off. Sometimes it's to realize you're making progress.
That's right.
You know?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I did that completely wrong. That would be fun if I left it the way it was, chat. I put the nozzle guard and the end cap on. I do not have a nozzle.
We will be at LVO. Jason, are you going to LVO?
I think I have to, but I don't want to.
The Bug King is asking.
Yeah.
I'd love the opportunities to kick Jason in the shins.
Not going to happen. He says stuff like this, and then he runs up scared, shakes my hand, says hurt to dirt revert.
Oh.
That's what he does.
Oh, that's where you get it from.
No.
The do.
No, I don't do that either.
It's making sense now. No, that is that's texture paint in the tubes. No, those are just their own bases.
Right.
Those are just
Now
resin bases.
Back to operational. The fully operational battle station again. All right, Royal Plum, folks. Not Royal Plum. I keep calling it Royal Plum. Dark Plum.
Dark plum.
Dark Plum.
I just used this too.
That's what we do.
I just did this.
Well, stop stealing my shtick, Chris.
It's a good shtick. It's a good shtick.
Stop stealing
I
my
need more
stuff.
paint, chat. I need to buy more paint.
Stop stealing my stuff.
I'm gonna can you center this a little bit up for me?
I need to move, dudes.
Oh, I was just about to say, I'm like, oh, you're about to prime all these.
Well, when you do the blue, it's fine because they all need to be blue, and if they get a little more blue on them, it's probably not right. But
So-
this is a little bit more delicate. So
Is that so? Walk us through this little part. Here.
okay, so when I'm changing colors with the airbrush, normally I would do a light coat, like a thin coat with the brush, and then a more opaque coat. The airbrush will take care of that because I'll just feather it over there first. But the idea here is that the Dark Plum wants to cover just about all of our marine.
Okay.
Right? So I'm not worried too much about the whole Zenithal thing. I am doing top down so that I make sure I don't shoot it from below. I don't want Dark Plum in the purest shadows, right?
Yeah.
But I want it to be on top of the entire body of the marine.
Can you center up for me a little bit,
No,
pretty please?
no,
I beg you.
no.
That's great. I freaking love Dark Plum, man.
The idea here being that, we want to have the beginning of red, and Dark Plum's a great way to do it over blue because it makes it kind of a purple. Zoom in real close.
Uh-huh.
Right? It gives us the beginning of red, but I still have these really neat, cool shadows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we want. When we look at the model up underneath, mostly Payne's Gray. When we look at it from above, all Royal Plum.
Melee Games, thank you for that sub.
And again, for expediency when I'm painting, even though I know certain things on this model are not going to be red, notice how I'm just painting it all. because it keeps things moving quick. I don't have to take the time to, with each and every marine to sit here and go, oh yeah, here's 18 minutes of, base coating just because I'm taking the time to get the color exactly where I need it. I'm just doing top down, dark plum on everything. Boom. And let you move right through them. Like this guy's head, don't care that he doesn't have a helmet on, he's still getting dark plum. Don't know what I'm doing with the chain swords. Haven't painted a chain sword guy yet, so we're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. I think on the normal assault marines, I'm going to be painting the shoulder plates black. But again, dark plum.
D-Fresh is asking, Sando, thank you for that sub. D-Fresh is asking, would black-red work?
I mean, you could use black-red. It's not going to do what I'm doing. It'll look different. The black-red over the blue would be still good, so sure. I like the fact that this creates this purpley shadow over the blue. I'm a big fan of purple shadows, but we stepped outside the norm when I did these guys the first time, and I really like the way it turned out, so that's what I'm sticking with. But yes, black-red would work. Anything that pulls you into a dark red, I just like dark plum and Payne's gray together. They work so well as a combo.
It is a cool combo.
Can use this for so much. Red skin. Heck, just Caucasian skin with this would be awesome as a base starting point.
Painting Bite says, in the EU store, I only see 4 miniatures, while the US site has way, way more. Will others be coming? ?
No. The EU site will only have those texture trainers that we make. It won't get the Age of Angre miniatures, probably. We can think about that. We didn't send any over. But it probably won't get the Age of Angre miniatures unless a lot of people demand them. That would be cool.
Yeah.
We could send them over there. But we didn't put them into the production queue for the EU just yet. Texture trainers, though, are. So all of our texture trainers we're making, we have a whole bunch more coming out. So there will be a lot more. Well, that last spurt was kind of deadly. So there will be a lot more models over there, but it'll just be our texture trainer line. Over here in the States, we have some Mineworks and Journeyman miniatures still, but we don't carry them anymore. That's just residual stock from when we did.
Mm-hmm. Sando's asking, is there a color theory reason why you think the pair well works together? Or is it just looks nice together? Always having trouble picking shadows. The Payne's gray and the dark plum.
Well, I mean, a cool shadow, cooler in temperature of color, is always best. There are some people that say, hey, if I have a warm colored model, cool shadows. If I have a cool colored model, warm shadows. Well, I don't like that. I think cool shadows is the way you want to be, because just because your model's blue doesn't mean that the shadow is any cooler or warmer temperature-wise. Can you do that? Sure. And sometimes it looks cool. But if I can start from a place where my shadows are all very cool anyway, then I think the model has more oomph. And so for this, the way I was thinking was that, and color theory, probably, like if there was some color theorist here, somebody that was formally trained, I'm not, they might tell us that the reason is because those two colors are blah, 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 blah.
It's because they dated in high school.
Because they dated in high school. The reality is that the blue and the red are always going to push you towards a violet or, in this case, this plum, blood red color, and it just gives a really good firm foundation for the other reds that we're going to put on here, because we are going to jump to pyro red after this, which is a pretty big jump. We get a very, very vibrant red coming up next.
Oh, really? I was trying to remember if there was something in between.
Nope.
Is there something on top of the pyro red?
Orange red, yes.
Orange red.
Orange red, and then the eclectic salmon, which is orange red plus warm flesh.
I just did that, chat. I did dark plum, then I did... No, actually, no, I didn't. I did orange... I'm sorry. I did dark plum, red oxide, and then orange red for my panels on my Titan. and then I nooshed the crap out of it. Came out great. I like that combo. Yes, those fingers looks like he's been picking blackberries.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the time today to put them on the damn cork.
I'm
painting my hands.
I have a glove too. I could have given you a glove at least.
I don't wear gloves.
I don't do that.
It all washes off.
Hey, the Bug King. Thank you so much for those gifted subs, 5 of them.
Bug, you're the man.
We appreciate that, man.
Tired of me talking bad about him. He's like, I will buy your love, Fuse.
Give him hugs. Give him hands. Bing, 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 bing. There you go.
Again, just burning through these. Holy cow.
I know, but it feels good, huh? It's coming to life.
Yeah, I would like to, in the time it takes us to do today, I would like to get through, in the 2-hour session, all of the armor airbrush. So that's my goal.
Any more tips that you have at this kind of stage while you're batch painting?
Not really, just stay focused. It's very easy at this point to be wanting to go so fast that you'll miss something critical with a layer of paint.
What do you? How do you mean?
Well, like if I was just doing the plum, and I'm just moving really quick, talking to chat, and then just forget to paint the whole front of a model or the whole back of a model.
Oh, yes.
Right? And then you move to your next color. You've got the brush all clean and set up to do the work, and you can't because you run into a model that's like, oops, it becomes a roadblock for you. So again, focus, because the monotony of painting armies can be your worst foe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That Chai Cat. I've been really enjoying dark plum, burnt orange, dark warm flesh. Ooh, with a thin coat of transparent orange for my Votan. That seems like cool. Cool concept. Question. I've got a bunch of dudes with dark bronze armor I just primed in brown. What colors would be good for the shadows?
Greens?
Ooh, greens. That would be dope.
So it's kind of that tarnishy feel.
Yeah.
Could be really neat. Oranges works really well, too, if you want to keep it warm. But I like greens. I like greens for all of my yellow metals. You'll see me do green for my golds a lot, when I'm doing non-metallic gold and such. So there's a world where I just love green under any yellow metal.
Painting Bites question. Why do you not wear a glove for your hand?
Hate gloves.
You do?
Yeah. Why? I just wash my hand.
That's right. There you go.
The glove makes my hands sweat.
Yeah, it's not
I
as
feel like
tactical.
it has tackiness to it that I don't want on the model, right? I don't have the tactile sense of it. I just never wear gloves. You're more than welcome to, obviously. I'm not the boss of you. Me, I don't care.
TK421 says, Jason, have to thank you. Helped me with a major breakthrough using the thumb palette to see when paint is ready for a certain technique. Non-metallic metal made easier with not super wet paint.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. That's
using the wet palette as a way to wick moisture off your brush and then guide you through when the opacity is right is what it's all about. Whatever way you do it. A lot of people use a paper towel, some kind of cloth, cheesecloth on the desk or whatever. Whatever you do, you need some way to adjust moisture on your brush other than just, I pray this works. And, a lot of people say it's wasteful. I take off so much paint on my hand, but it really isn't. It works really well for letting you see the consistency of your paint. Now, it's only as good as your understanding of what consistency paint does what, so there is that. Right? It's only like when you understand what paint of this thinness does that recognizing that thinness starts kicking in. But that's the best way to start. Something that is the hardest thing to train. People say, oh, you do your paint for the airbrush until it feels like skim milk. What does that even mean? I get what they're trying to say, but... Progress. I gotta remember not to paint
Thank you for
my
that, Seb.
sanguinary guard with the red.
Yep.
So I moved them off to the other side of the desk. But they're getting precariously close to all the other dudes I'm painting, so...
Yes.
I'm going to do the Sanguinary Guard in all non-metallic gold. That's going to suck. This is the one reason why I never really painted Blood Angels, because I'm like, I'm not painting the Sanguinary Guard in gold. What, are you kidding me?
Oh, your command squad, essentially.
The retinue for the command squad, yeah. For the Praetor.
This is coming together, though. You got paint on the model. It's
Lots
looking good. Yes, for all of you asking that question, I know I've been typing it, but no, he is using the paint straight from the bottle.
No thinning.
Right into the airbrush.
No thinning. Pro-Acryl is amazing. We prove it to you every day. I've put 4 cupfuls of this. This is the 4th cupful of this through the brush without any thinning. Not any water or anything. Straight out of the paint bottle, into the cup.
That's right.
Done deal.
Don't do a lot.
Yeah, I'm not filling a lot, which is why I have to fill more often.
Right.
Right. The key there is that the paint starts to dry around the rim of the cup if you fill it too high. And then you'll have a problem with trying to keep the flakes of dried paint from falling down into the cup.
.22 psi is what Jason sprays around, and he has a .3 needle.
.3 needle, 22 psi. Chris has got it. Nailed it.
Wad, take it easy. Have a good one.
Who's leaving?
Wad.
What?
All right, friends. I need to bounce. Love your faces. Wad, take it easy, man.
What?
Don't forget about us.
Wad, your dedication is lacking.
Yes,
Have a good
PSI
one.
is the 22.
There you go. 21 dudes.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man.
Now it's time for Pyro Red, so we'll wash out the plum.
Comment says, I'm new to painting minis.
Welcome.
And I've been doing, first time chat, welcome in. And I've been doing one by one for hours, and I hate it.
Yeah.
How can I speed it up? I'm detailed, but I've contemplated on buying an airbrush. Will that help me?
Airbrush will definitely help you if you're painting armies from exactly what you see me doing here, base coating and such. You know, I paint to a pretty high level for my tabletop. You know, my game ready color usually makes people mad. And it's a struggle for me to keep speed balanced with quality. You'll hear us on the stream talk about how you can have good, cheap, or fast, pick 2, right? And if you want good and fast, an airbrush is going to be a key. It's not cheap way to do it, but an airbrush is something that if you can learn to use and be confident in, is a tremendous tool. If nothing else than putting base coats on. And it doesn't have to be a super expensive airbrush. You know, I just say it's expensive just because it's more money you have to spend than,
Sure.
you know, the brushes and stuff you already have to have. But even if you go out and buy like a $150 full rig with a compressor, you could base coat like this. I'm not doing anything like tough. You're seeing me. I'm pulling the trigger back wide open and spraying the model. I'm not feathering the trigger at all. I'm just putting paint on the model. There's nothing happening here that you can't do. You just have to have an airbrush. This of course, doing this all by brush would never happen. I would never do that.
Right. Soulway Studios TV, thanks for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
What's going on, man?
Doing some batch painting. Doing some army batch painting today. Some Blood Angels. Welcome in, everybody.
The Sons of Sanguinius.
A lot of good questions today. A lot of good questions. If you have questions, be sure to tag at Monument Hobbies so that I can see them and get them pitched up. And again, Soulway, thank you for that raid. Bing, bing, bing,
Hey there, Nikki.
bing, 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 bing.
All right, so this is the Blood Angels. Just in case there are people here who haven't been in before,
Right.
This is the scheme, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you pop in close, this is what they wind up looking like. This is my rendition of Blood Angels, and so far I've done the test model, and then we took it and put it to work on one of the new Saturnine Praetor models, right? because I did this guy nearly 2 years ago. It
Wow.
sucks to admit, you know. And then so we updated it a little bit, did the Saturnine Praetor, and been working on him to get him up. I'm not actually going to use him in my army now, it turns out, though. So put him back over there. But all these, I have an entire jump pack army, so they will all look like this. So that's what we're doing, is all of the red today. My goal by the end of stream is to have you see how the red turns out. So the next color is Bold Pyro Red. Best red ever. Pow. Again, no thinner. These first coats of paint, these first 3 coats of paint, I will start thinning after this. I think. The orange-red is a little bit more translucent than these other colors. So there's a world where I could spray it direct too. We'll see. Right. But the Pyro Red just goes right in the brush, and I don't fill past the bottom of the cup. I probably need to start back at the beginning. That's the hardest part for me. Don't pick up the last model you sprayed. Pick up the first model you sprayed, and then get all these out of the way.
Can you set her up this part for me? There it is.
Bold Pyro Red, this is going to be a big jump, huh?
Yep, it's a pretty big jump. No lie. Here, we want to now start treating this more like a Zenithal. We're going to have the red just want to be from the top. So I'll be a little bit more careful on how I put it. I don't know what I'm going to do to the feathers on the wings, but I'm going to go ahead and paint them red anyway. Even the cloak. I don't know if the cloak's going to be red or not. Can you pop in closer?
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything from a particular lighting vantage point here. I'm just spraying from the top evenly. Again, for something that was more display quality, I would pick a lighting source probably and stick with it. But for these guys, I think this is fine. So this is going to take you a little bit more time per model. That's fine. But again, we want to start seeing the red, but underneath, we want to start seeing all the plum and the blue still. Right? Almost like an OSL effect as it wraps around the cylinder of the leg and such.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. Shadows start kind of baking themselves in just because the paint can't get everywhere, because you're letting the model block the paint as it approaches the model. So bingo. Makes life really easy. And there you go. Red. Ta-da. Again, not really doing anything you can't do. I'm not feathering much. I'm just kind of holding the trigger at a stable open point. And then treating my airbrush as if it's the sun, right? So I will rotate the model around so that I get a good view of it. Again, don't move the airbrush a whole lot, move the model more. So my airbrush is always kind of top down. Sometimes I reduce the angle, increase the angle, depending on where I feel like I want more color. I'm creating the contrast as I go. Not looking for realism necessarily. I'm just looking to get color forced into areas.
Yeah.
So if I see something that feels like it's a little bit too blue and plum still, like maybe the shadow of his chest here is a little too dark, so I'll rotate the model a little bit, pull the brush back a little bit further, so now I'm like 6-8 inches away. So it's not going to get the intensity of red on it as when I'm 3 inches away.
Yeah.
But I still then lighten up those darker shadows. That's just your ability to play around with it. You know, I want to leave the inside of the leg darker for sure. That's kind of what gives this whole scheme its flavor.
Do you have a side-by-side of Nova Orange and regular orange?
I mean, we can show you the bottles.
Yeah.
Can you show us the bottom of those bottles?
Nova
There.
Orange on the left, regular orange on the right. Nova Orange is kind of a peachy color. More of a peach orange.
More
And the
desaturated?
regular orange is a lot more vibrant of an orange. Nova Orange is almost a flesh tone. That's what I find myself using it for most.
Yeah. Man, that red is this is a nice jump. This makes the army feel even more real, huh?
Oh yeah. Like I said, each step when you do it this way makes everything feel like it's making progress very quickly. Again, his shield arm blocks so much of this leg, so I'm going to sneak in and cheat it so I can have some red on that armor down there.
Do you have any tips for how you're hitting the angles of this model when you're doing this step in particular?
Again, it's just moving the model more, keeping the airbrush always pointing down. Don't ever be spraying the model from this direction, otherwise you'll cover most of that coloring. So I'm only ever have the model as I'm looking at, assume your eye is the airbrush nozzle, it's only ever wanting to hit the model from about straight up and down to about here. Mm-hmm. Never direct on from the front. Always at about, I don't know what we call that, about a 45-degree angle to 90 is where you would like to keep it.
Heyman saying, what comes after this stage, filling in the blanks in my paint order?
The next is orange-red.
What's the reason you don't want to hit it right from the front?
Because you'll fill in shadows. Anything from direct on in front and then to the lower angles will start filling in shadows. Imagine if I spray him from right here, I will get a lot of paint on that lower chest area, right? And his shins. So if I just rotate it like this and spray the front, now when I get that lower knee and toe, now the shin is still dark, right? So I just want to keep that lower angle so that I'm never firing paint directly into the shadows, even those linear shadows. Now I might, because again, that chest is going to just stay Payne's Gray and Plum if I don't, so I might rotate it like this to where the chest is facing directly towards me, pull the brush back to about 6 or 8 inches, and just feather a little bit on there. Boom. Right, so now I have a little bit more of a shadow across the chest. That works good. Again, a good test is always to hold the model upside down and see. You shouldn't see much of the red here. Just where it comes around the cylinder of the shoulder pad and the leg and things like that, but it should mostly be your dark colors. And then from the top, you shouldn't see any of your dark colors. Right? And then you have to kind of pick where do you want your shadow to start falling. If I want my shadow to wrap further or closer in towards the center, then I'd bring the red around the shoulder pad a little bit more, which I'm doing in this case. But I have the orange-red next, so the orange-red will help to fix any kind of shortcomings. If I don't do enough red in an area, the orange-red can fix that. Part of the reason why this paint scheme is so easy is that it has so many colors that kind of back clean up well for each other. The orange-red over the red, the plum underneath the red, gives us a lot of backup.
Artistic Outlaw, is an airbrush purely speed tool in this project or an aesthetic application or both or neither?
I mean, both. It always winds up being both, I think, because not only do you get fast, but it blends well when you have control, right? So just the way it atomizes paint and applies paint to the model is always going to give you a very smooth blend, assuming you know what you're doing, right? It can pool up and give you all sorts of crappy looks to it, so you do need to learn how to run it properly. But assuming that you do, and that your confidence is fairly high with the brush, then, you know, it takes care of all of that speed and good, right?
Yeah.
Portion of what we were talking about. I'm liking it.
Look at those when you have them all on the table, that sea of red.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just starting to come alive. Can you use metallics through the airbrush?
Sure. They're just paint. Remember that they do have solids in them that are different than normal paint because they have the mica or aluminum flake, depending on what kind of metals you're using. So they are going to have a little bit more of a ability to clog your brush. So some people might say, oh, they suck. And when you atomize them, I will be honest, metallics can have a weird look to them too, because if you don't have them thinned properly, then they wind up looking a little weird. You'll see a lot more sparkly to them. So just be careful as you're doing it.
Cayman says, usually people use ice yellow for their highlight mix. Am I remembering right that you use Bull Pyro Red plus dark warm flesh for yours? After...
Warm flesh, not dark warm flesh.
Okay, after orange red.
Yep. Warm flesh.
Combat, I was asking true metallic metal or non-metallic metal you were asking about for doing steel.
How do you mean?
Combat was asking, how would I do steel? How would I go about airbrushing a metallic steel armor? I see you're using different steps to get in the main color. Do I need to hit the model with black, then steel? And I was asking if we're talking about true metallic metals or non-metallic metal for steel. I'm assuming, Combat, you're meaning actual metallics, just like what Jason was talking about. You could do black. I would do black and maybe try magnesium for steel.
I mean, we love magnesium around here. You're really on that hang up too.
That's the coolest.
You can go dark
shadow.
Silver.
No, we don't have
magnesium.
Yeah, so
There's so many good ways to do steel.
No, it's not, Hendrix. This is not a Forge World kit.
These are Primaris scale Heresy models.
But yeah, they're super cool.
Guy that I befriended does these files, and they're free. He doesn't charge for them. And they're really cool. Tons and tons of Blood Angels bits, though. There's tons of GW bits here. All the pouches, a lot of the heads, all the symbols. Anything that has a Blood Angel symbol on it, other than these shields that I found on Etsy, are really cool.
If you were going to do a steel workup using true metallic metals to the airbrush, what would you do, Jason?
Magnesium.
And then steel?
And steel. I got to tell you, though, if I was doing the airbrush, I'd put the magnesium on with the airbrush, and then I'd probably dry brush the steel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I guess you could do it with the airbrush, too. There's nothing that prevents that.
Iron Warriors would look cool that way.
Yeah, I feel like doing it dry brushed on would be really bitchin'.
Oh, dude, you could do a Payne's Gray, then a magnesium, and then dry brush steel. Ooh.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, and when you're airbrushing metallics, doing an undercoat like that works a lot better because of the way that the paint blends. I wouldn't necessarily do that on the brush. There's not a reason not to. You just have to be good with glazing your metallics, which for some people is a little bit tough.
Jason, your hand looks wild right now. The gradient is is very cool.
Murder.
Murder.
Again, this is the stage it slows down at because I have to be a little bit more careful with my placement of color. Get dialed in again, get my blends and where they want to be dialed in a little bit better. I'm still moving fast. Just got to spend a little more time making sure I push color where it needs to be.
Yes, all of our bottles come with a glass agitator in them. You do not have to buy them separate.
Yep.
And it's glass, not stainless steel, for a reason.
Stainless steel is not stainless. Turns out, when you submerge it,
after a while,
all bets are off.
Ooh, combat. I'm doing Age of Sigmar Stormcast Eternals. Don't like the flashy gold, so I'm going for a grimdark steel. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You know what you could do?
That'd be really cool.
Combat, if you're wanting... Yeah, that grimdark steel is cool, but yeah, our magnesium as that shadow color for true metallics is super fun. Heck, you could do like a... You could dry brush rich gold if you wanted the gold version. I know you're not going for a gaudy gold, but... Jason did a really cool gold workup using our magnesium.
Again, notice how this is, you'll see why I'm not thinning my paint. even though it may mean that I have a little bit more cleanup to do along the way. Right, I probably need to rinse after this cup runs out. Notice the vibrancy I'm getting straight away. I don't have to do another layer of red. I'm going to do the orange red over the top of this, but I don't have to do another layer of red necessarily to get exactly what I'm looking for here.
Artistic Outlaw says, I've heard a few say that airbrush colors aren't as durable and that dry brushing over airbrush layers is dangerous. Does that stand true for Monument as well?
I mean, it can be if you just go straight after it, right? You do need to give yourself a little bit of time for the paint to cure before you go through, and it depends on how thin you're spraying. The way that I'm spraying is thick. I'm not thinning the paint at all, right? So this is paint straight out of the bottle, and I'm layering it on pretty heavy. Not as heavy as it would be with a brush, but close. So no, I wouldn't have a problem. By the time I get done with these guys, if I wanted to dry brush my next color over the top, I would go back to the beginning of where I started these models and start dry brushing. I wouldn't have any problem with it at all. I would be careful. Like, you know, when I say this, you can't like ham fist your dry brush. I know people that when I watch them dry brush, I'm like, what did that model do to you?
You got to be a little lighter. What did that model do to you?
That model do to you? I see people that just beat their models with their dry brush. And I'm like, hey boy, maybe you settle down a bit. Yeah, you can go a little bit too hard in the paint with dry brushing because it's satisfying, it's quick. Sometimes we don't think about it as being a delicate process, but the more delicate you are with it, the better results you'll get. Even when you're just going for, you know, pure coverage. Now, if you're doing terrain, then by all means, ham fist it.
Rattlecan says, are you going all in and painting the bases and all?
Oh yeah.
This is it. He's going
I had a
all
base
in.
color on the original test models. I'm not going to keep that base color. I don't like the gray.
Oh, you don't?
No, so I'm going to come up with something else. I don't know what it is yet, though, so don't ask.
Spartan says, what are your personal favorite paints from your line?
I am legally bound to say all of them. Or they all want to hire attorneys and come after me.
Dark purple. If we're going by numbers and usage.
That's probably not a lie.
I would say dark purple or
It
Payne's
used to be
gray.
mahogany. And then we released dark purple. And after dark purple, I don't know that anything has ever supplanted it, but Payne's gray is getting very close.
I would agree.
Dark purple probably watches over its shoulder at Payne. What's going on with Payne's gray from time to time?
Parkner says the Destroyer purple base, orange grass.
Ooh. That would be kind of cool.
Ugg says purple and Payne's gray are his favorites. Well, they're definitely up there.
They're definitely up there. I'm going to go ahead and rinse the brush right now. Not a full cleaning, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out. Again, that was like 4 cups of red that we sprayed. And what you'll notice is that red around the rim down there is starting to solidify. And so we want to get it out of there before it becomes a problem and starts clogging the brush up. I don't have to clean it, you know, thoroughly. I just need to get enough water through here to where it's starting to be more of a clear red coming out and less color.
What would your favorite primer color be? I would say definitely for Jason, black.
Oh, 100% black as a pure prime color.
Yeah.
You know, now that we have the dark purple primer coming out, then I think maybe we lose to, maybe they become 50-50. There's models that I don't use purple as a base coat on, obviously. I'm not that single track minded, but I'm very single track minded. Purple is the best shadow color for anything other than purple, in my opinion, when I'm thinking about doing the whole model with a shadow.
For all of you just now tuning in, or you came in through the raid, welcome in. We're so glad you're here. We're Monument Hobbies. We're doing some not dark angels, blood angels.
Blood angels.
There's so many angels, so many birds, so many wings, so many this. We're doing blood angels.
Really not that many.
But there's a lot of them.
Okay, so you have how many legions, Chris?
15.
18.
Oh, I was close.
So with
just
so
winging
you're
that
just
one.
guessing, but 18 legions.
Okay.
How many of them have angels in their name?
4 of them. Blood angels, dark angels,
Smart
And
angels,
That's it.
typical angels,
And that's it.
black angels, red angels. I don't know. How many angels?
2.
2.
Blood and dark.
Oh, okay. I was close, chat.
No, you weren't.
I was so close. What are you talking about?
This isn't hand grenades or horseshoes. This is how test
I
your
was so
knowledge
close.
of the Imperium.
Test
And
your
you
knowledge
failed.
of the Imperium.
You're found wanting. Your knowledge is found wanting.
That Chai Cat says, if I were to build up my oranges through an airbrush, when I get to transparent orange filter, should I still only come from the top, or do I want the filter to hit the shadows?
Depends on the colors you worked up from the beginning, right? There's a case to be made for putting your orange filter over everything. But you have to judge your contrast. Is your contrast where you want it by the time you get to the orange? Or do you feel like you need more contrast? I would be careful if you feel like you need more contrast. If the contrast is pretty on point, then you can do the orange over the shadows too. If you feel like you're lacking contrast, then don't, because that'll just bring the value of the shadows up more and keep the contrast from forming. So that's something to take into account.
November says, Chris, tell him that you were referencing all the chapters, not the legions. Oh, I was referring to the chapters, Jason.
This is the heresy, folks. There are no chapters.
Dang
Only
it.
legions. You don't get to play this
November,
game with me, folks.
I was trusting you.
You led him astray, boys. You led him astray.
No,
I
you threw
appreciate
me
that.
under the bus.
I appreciate
Boo.
that. I can definitely appreciate taking Chris and leading him astray. Hey,
Wow.
Chris, say something that has nothing to do with the heresy.
I trust you people. November says, I am only a little better than you. That's funny. Wow. Buried alive today. Chris, name all the legions. I can't, and I won't.
All 18, Chris. Go. Get as many as you can.
The Emperor. Oh, okay. Everybody calm down. Christopher, say this. I love Dante. He's the best Heresy era Blood Angel, says Philip.
Philip does not like you and is not your friend.
Oh. No, what's Philip's voice? I love Dante, and he's the best Heresy era Blood Angel. That's Philip.
I have to go home and work on the kitchen.
I have to go build a house
I have
from
to
scratch.
go build a house.
Philip's been building a house from scratch, everybody.
Yeah,
Like
for the
literally
last,
from
3
scratch.
years.
Mixing the own cement, laying the foundation of the house, the plumbing, the electrical. We have meetings here at Monument, brief and simple. And sometimes we ask people like, hey, a personal best or a business best? And I would say 99% of the time, Philip's response is something about the house he's building from scratch. Philip just said, I poured a smoothie on your treadmill and turned it on. Gross. That would be a massive inconvenience for me. Wow. Oh.
2 more.
Who is Horus and what is his heresy?
Chris always says, they kind of gave it away at the beginning, didn't they?
They did, kind of. It's in the name. It'd be kind of a bummer if Horus didn't commit heresy.
The Horusian Wars.
Gabe says, not the most massive inconvenience, though. That's true. I have a different one that I threaten my coworkers with.
It's really going to be an HR problem soon.
Everybody
I
just
know it is.
never backstab me. I'm willing to leave on that term, by the way. I'd accept firing for that.
You would have to be fired if you did that.
Worth it.
Do not think you are protected, Chris.
I would assume I wouldn't be. And
I
if
would laugh after you were gone.
You're like, Chris, you are actually fired. That was hilarious.
Yes. Basically, yes.
By the way, here's the invoice for the carpet cleaning.
Yes.
Derpstick says, tested out an ultra matte varnish yesterday on a piece of sprue primed in black with rich gold painted over it. The ultra matte definitely killed the shine, but it's kind of reads like a metallic. I don't mind the look. Might have to get your guys' spray varnish to make varnishes go by faster. Oh, yeah. Our
so close.
Our matte varnish is awesome. If you haven't tried that stuff out, I matte varnish everything.
He really does.
Just for the hell of it. I like actually how it just brings everything together. It really does. Combat, yes. Let me double check that. You're asking for the number of what magnesium is. S42?
It's in the Adepticon set.
Yeah. Here is the direct link. Yes, it is S42. Yes. Check this one out. Boom. There's the direct link. Bushman says, so if you were painting non-metallic copper, you started with a dark brown, would you go into burnt sienna, then flesh tones, like shadow flesh? Or am I thinking about these colors all wrong? For non-metallic copper. Oh, my. Don't make me bleed my own blood.
Non-metallic copper. I typically do non-metallic copper with oranges and yellows and then a top coat of transparent red.
Really?
Huh. You could use like a red, you could do a glaze of red oxide or anything like that. But I really like going from like burnt sienna, burnt orange, orange, warm flesh, that kind of a mixture to get my values set, and then go back with maybe a red and an orange transparent mix to get the reddishness back in it. Now, if you wanted it to be darker, then just leave more of the burnt sienna, burnt orange showing, and less of the orange and the yellow. I've used it with like pale yellow highlights on it too, rather than warm flesh. But yeah, I like just going with oranges. Remember that you have so much power with glazing and filtering that sometimes you're just going for what you think looks good as a general coloration, not the actual outcome, and then make the outcome happen with the glaze or the filter at the end. It's a scary way to paint. I know that. I know a lot of people are like, no way, dude, because they watch me do crazy stuff, and it's like, why? That's not even the color you want it. And I'm like, yeah, but watch. And then at the end, it becomes the color we want. It's so freeing because I know that copper is an orangish metal, and so if I get my values set right, we just did it with the bronze the other day, right? We just built it up with orange brown and green browns and things like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Michael Holtz, so what are you going to wash with? Are you talking about his hands, or are you talking if he's doing a wash on these models?
Arizona water gets paint right off.
You know what? It looks like he just grabbed a dilly bar out of a bucket. Caught red-handed. That was hilarious, Kent. I'll give you that one. I use fast orange on when I clean my hands after I paint. Works great.
Yeah, fast orange is good.
I also just love the excuse to use fast orange because I just like fast orange.
Like lava.
Makes me feel like I did my
like
my
loads
work.
of sandpaper in my soap.
Yeah. Makes it feel like I did my work. Ted Onion says, when using the airbrush to do zenithal work, I don't like how the airbrush blows out the shadows on the top of the model. Do you have any tips for addressing that?
What do you mean shadows on the top of the model? Explain.
Blows out the shadows on the top of the model.
Seems like you're holding the model wrong or airbrushing it wrong. It can keep the airbrush, if you keep the airbrush, if you're doing a rattle can, it's hard, right? Because the rattle can just puts out however much paint it wants to put out. It's kind of not, you're not the boss of the rattle can. So you get less control that way. But with a Zenithal Prime through an airbrush, it's how you're treating the angle to the model that is indicative of what is getting covered up. So I assume when you say blown out, you're losing your shadow, right? One of two things could be happening. Well, one of maybe more than two things, but the first thing is like wrong angle. So you're angling too shallow and getting paint into those shadows. Number two, you are doing pure white and you're going hammer down and you're literally putting white over black and not getting the gray in between. The reality when we do a zenithal highlight or prime, that pre-highlight, is that you do black and then you do your white kind of thin first. And remember that now's when you can thin your primer. If you're using like our black primer and then our white primer, you can thin the white coat because you don't need it to be primer, you need it to be paint. So you can put a little thinner in it. do it a little lighter, feather it more, so you get grays first, and then go back and just do the top edges as white. So now you have black, gray, white. That's the way that it will work the best for you. All right, orange, red.
Which
I
color
have
was
10 minutes.
What color was that? Now, really walk me through this last layer for the batch painting.
I won't do it.
Like really nice and centered up, and
I won't do it.
Like with the model in the center of the shot. And
how about I refuse?
The just like where in the middle, and telling the people like what.
Isn't this nice to have all these models like making this much progress? Look, I have a lot of red.
There's a lot of people. I'm glad a lot of people on YouTube. If you're over on YouTube, welcome in.
This is Jason's journey to build an army.
And you can always catch this VOD. Our VODs go straight to the live tab, everybody. I know somebody just asked that. So after the show, it goes right to the live tab. You can catch all of this. Plus, we take a lot from stream, and we go put it in our tutorials for you. And we'll definitely make this a batch painting video for sure.
We don't need no thinner.
Yep, no thinner. Straight from the bottle.
I'm not thinning it. I said I might thin it. I'm not thinning it. Not doing it. I refuse. Boom. Pop in close.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to pop in close, Jason.
Hey, you just do it, I tell you.
Jason.
So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna do a lot more of the kind of pulsing the trigger so that I can get highlights just where I want them. Working in close. Right? Yeah, this one's done to keep it a little bit more wet so you can see dots on the top of the shoulders. About inch and a half away. Top of the backpack only, let the red then blend down the sides. The pyro red. Now it's where I'm doing that whole don't really angle the model much. I just want to get what the sun would see from top down. Top of the helmet. Breastplate, arm, hand. Maybe you can see a little bit of this knee and leg here, but I want to spray directly down onto that knee. See? Like this? Not like this. I mean, if you're super good and you want to get in with a fine needle and get in there and highlight everything right directly like this, you can. But it's a lot easier if I hold it like this. This is what the airbrush is seeing. Yeah. Because the angle of the camera, I'm looking at it like this. And then I pulse that paint down there. And notice how I get the top of the thigh. Looks like I got everything. But then when you go like this, it's just the top of the knee, top of the toe, bottom of the thigh as it comes out from the shadow. Right? So let the model do the painting for you, really, right? It's blocking all this stuff. Right? So that's the key. Then you can kind of clean it up by feathering. If I want to get like the inside of that shin there, might be a little too dark, so I can go ahead and pull the brush back again 5-6 inches. Feather in some of the red orange in there. Orange red, not red orange. Right. There we go. Boom.
Yes, if you guys have questions, be sure to tag at Monument Hobbies and I can pitch them up. Forsaken Painting says, I have 140 Marines, 40 Dreads, 2 Raiders, and some hero characters all based in black, reddish black, then a nice strong red. They look fantastic, but the amount of gold trim means I haven't touched the model since I did the base colors. Any advice?
Gotta just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off, start painting gold. I mean, think about it. I'm going to do 68 Blood Angels in non-metallic gold trim. So I feel your pain. 100% feel your pain. Right? So you look at this guy, and then you look at this guy, right? That's the difference we're creating right now. Getting that red vibrancy up by layering that orangish tone over the top of it. Right? And eventually, like I said, it becomes this. Right? So if we do this, this is the the progression. Let me grab this guy. That's pretty dry. Like this.
Nice.
Right? Just the Pyro Red over the Payne's Gray and Dark Plum, then the Orange Red over the top of that, and then this is where we'll do what we call the Eclectic Salmon, which is that peach color, right? That is our highlight. This is the progression, and then once you've done that, when you put all your other colors on it, boom, you get this. Right? So just so you see that progression.
Nice. Yep.
This is how it goes. Now, we have these guys that are before we did the Pyro Red, right?
Right.
And we don't have plum on them either, but it goes from Payne's Gray into these. Really nice, really simple.
Yes. My recommendation on the Marines and trim are getting new models.
Oh, shush.
No, I don't recommend that. I'm sure that'd be cool, but here's the thing. Just think about the end game with that many models. Just think how cool it's going to be once it's all done and power through.
He's not wrong on that part.
Get a good audiobook going and just, the trim is going to be the trim, right? We all have to do it. Try to make the process a little bit more enjoyable for yourself so that you can get through it and have a really cool army at the end. Sideways says, thank you. Been trying to get into airbrushing more when it comes to army painting and have loved Pro Acryl paint, so I'm glad I know I can do that. Yep. Straight out of the bottle.
All these colors I'm doing straight. Even this one right here. I said I was going to thin it, but I decided I'd just do it straight just so you guys can see what I'm doing.
And just the big takeaway tip, don't overfill your airbrush. For all of you who are just now tuning in, just like I'm saying, don't overfill it. Just a little bit at a time. You can always add more. Real Lies says, do you play Blood Angels in 40K as also?
Nah. I thought about doing this army, and I guess I technically could play this army right here in 40K as well. The loadouts I've done aren't really different. So I could. They're Primaris scale, so they work from that aspect. But we painted up at one point in time. We painted up like one of the new dreadnoughts in this scheme too. So
Combat
nothing says I couldn't.
When you hit the model for the shades, do you spray from the bottom to get in the shadows?
The shadows are already baked in because we didn't cover up any of the blue and the plum, right? If you paint your shadow first and then you just keep bringing up, painting from the top, your brighter colors, then your shadow's baked in. You don't have to ever do anything from up underneath.
Nick is asking, what are the pitfalls of overfilling the cup?
Starts to dry up and then flakes off into the nozzle.
Yeah.
Right? You're never going to keep unless you're spraying it like full throttle the whole time, which sometimes you will be when you're base coating.
Yep.
Right? We've been painting in a way that I probably could have put way more paint in there because I'm spraying like at full horsepower the whole time.
Right.
Now I'm not, but when I was doing the base colors, I was. The Payne's Gray and such. So there's a world where I could have put more in there. I chose not to just because it's a little safer to not put that much color in there. You know, that paint continually dries in the cup, and then eventually it falls off, flakes off into the nozzle, and then you're kind of screwed. It causes a lot of problems. Probably the biggest culprit of clogged nozzles is the dried paint from the cup going down into the brush without you really even noticing it. And it's not really dried like, paint chip dry. It's just sludgy.
Right.
And so by being sludgy paint, when it gets in there, it lodges itself in the nozzle. It can't go through the small aperture to be sprayed with the rest of the paint. And that causes all your issues. Man, I love this scheme.
It's very satisfying to watch this go on, I would say, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's just it's clean. you're getting so many models done in my mind right now, right?
Yeah, it's the nice, like we've been talking about. It shows you progress. It feels like you're actually moving forward. And when staring at, we've had so many people today already say, I've got 100 models I got to paint. What do I do about the gold trim? And the joke is, get painting, but it's not really a joke. It's
Well,
like, that's what you got to do.
Just keep thinking about that end game, right? Don't try to do it all in one sitting. Just be like, okay, I'm going to do 10 tonight, 10 the following night. We talk about getting your unpaid bills paid, right? You'll get it done. Just have to do it.
You don't, like 2 years ago, I didn't know that the reason I was waiting to paint my Blood Angels was so we would come out with orange red.
I guess that's true, right?
I had to do this with orange into my red when I did the original color test. So now I love this paint job even more because now it's so much easier to pull off.
Painting bites. Is the cleaner for airbrushing only used after a full session of painting?
I never use airbrush cleaner. I just use water. But yeah, after we paint, and I'll be honest with you, I don't believe you have to do full strip cleanings very often. If you just go and do what you've seen me doing, which is fill the airbrush cup with less paint during the session each time you go to use it, and then do a light cleaning, rinse out of that. Even when we're spraying with the same color for a long time, a lot of people will not slow down long enough to do a little bit of a rinse as you go. And if you do, then you don't really have to clean much at all. The only time I use anything, heavy solvent style is when I've just completely screwed up and, haven't cleaned the brush in a long time, or God forbid, leave paint in it overnight or something, Nobody's infallible. We all make mistakes. That's when it gets to be reckless need of, holy hell.
November says, I got a Harder Steenbeck Ultra, which has a trigger that stops halfway back for when you're priming, but Jason here is going full blast. Are there any advantages to doing it one way or another?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Harder and Steenbeck, you have to understand, like their focus, while they may be, they focus in on people in the hobby now because they've realized what the money attached to it is. They are also more into that world of people that airbrush things like T-shirts and such.
Yeah.
So not that there's a huge difference there, but they may have technology in there that's kind of secondarily used for what we're doing. I don't know why you'd ever want to not have the trigger pull all the way back at any point in time. You always want to have that control. That's what feathering is. Now, if I had the tailstock on this one, there's a little thing you can twist that blocks the needle from going back too far.
You can adjust it.
Yeah.
But you're used to it already because you're just been doing it forever.
Yeah, I don't use it, but I've shown people how to use it before and what it can be good for. It's a neat thing. Like as you're learning, it's really nice. It's kind of like, I hate saying training wheels because I don't want to be demeaning, but I don't see it that way. It's like training wheels for your airbrush. You can set how far you can pull the trigger back so you keep yourself from exploding paint on the surface.
I think that's what that's for too in the Ultra, if I'm not mistaken. It advertises it that way, right?
Oh, I don't know.
I believe so.
I don't know. It's when spraying very, very fine or low viscosity stuff, you can where did my knife go? Oh, I bet it's on my tray, huh? No. Did you take it?
This one?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. I'm noticing there's like a smudgeons here, some sort of weird thingamajig.
T. Schmid, you missed the whole stream today. That's okay. It always goes to our VOD tab. Keith says, hey, fellas, love your stuff. Please continue. I added all the signature sets, less Seshuish, plus expansions 1, 3, and 4 to round out my base set. Transparents next. Would you recommend something else? Heck, I mean, that sounds like a good start to me. The Transparents are an awesome set. The Transparent set is an amazing set to try, right?
Yep.
I mean, it sounds like you got a lot. That's great.
Yeah, I think that I'm always, other than the tongue-in-cheek by it all, the reality is, what colors do you find yourself using a lot? Make sure you have those. If you're just starting out painting, then take some time, now that you have a good paint selection, take some time to paint an army, paint a model or two, find out where your color preference lies, what you find yourself using a lot, and then start getting colors that accent or work well with those colors that you like. It's really a lot simpler than most people give it credit for being. Buy the colors you like.
The in Painting Bite is asking, what's the difference between the regular Pro Acryl line and the expert line of acrylics? What's the difference?
The expert acrylics are basically, think about, what do we make Pro Acryl from? The expert acrylics are that. The expert acrylics are, fine art grade. I will call them heavy body paints. They are not heavy body paints. We kind of like to think of them as light heavies. Makes no sense in the term of what but what the problem with heavy body paints, heavy body acrylics, and the way everybody else makes them, is that they're made for canvases. They're made to have texture, right? They're made to be a little thicker than we need paint to be when painting models. And it doesn't mean you can't dilute them, but if I'm going to spend money for paint, I don't want to have to spend a ton of time diluting it to get it to work right. So what I wanted to do was say, okay, how can I get back to the purest form of pigment possible in a way that lets you work with it without any fuss, right? You can literally do anything you want to with the expert acrylics.
Right.
Other than, I would say, airbrush. And even then, it's like, okay, you can. People have argued with me and said, you can definitely airbrush with them. I'm like, okay, yes, you can, but why would you spend all that time when I have the exact quality in a low viscosity paint already? What they're meant for is to give people help with glazing, because they have so much more pigment than anything you're going to run into held in suspension. So when you're glazing, they just get right down to business. You've watched me on stream, or if you haven't, we have done on stream quite a bit with them, and shown exactly what they're capable of for filtering in like 1, maybe 2 passes. You don't need a lot. I'm going to rinse this out real quick.
Sure.
We have literally sprayed. The only color I cleaned up after was the Payne's gray.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
So we've done. This is color number 4, right?
You're airbrushing a lot.
And we're airbrushing a lot.
But look at the, look at the results so far. We've gotten a lot done. We're in overtime too, chat.
It was just a second. I want to finish this color, and then we'll call it quits for today. I got nearly everything I wanted to do done. We're not going to get to the eclectic salmon highlight today.
Don't say
because that takes the longest amount of time. When we, it starts, the first coats go on really quick. You get a lot of progress. As you get into the detail, which the highlight, getting the specific highlights exactly where you want them, start locating light on the model better, that just takes a little bit of time. It's what we always say, right? Kind of tongue-in-cheek, we say that it's the least amount of paint and it takes the longest amount of time to do it.
Yeah.
It's always the case with your detail colors. No matter what they are, no matter what you're doing, in this case, even though they're airbrushing, it's going to take us a lot longer to put the highlights on, There's people you'll see that will go through and speed through, jump on highlights on a model. That's great. I don't, So
Yep.
I take my time when we get to the highlights because, again, it's the stuff that gives the contrast and really starts putting the model into perspective, and I don't want to rush it. I'm noticing that my nozzle cap is
Keith,
clawed.
this was...
Can you zoom in real close on that?
Oh, let's see.
My nozzle cap has got a ton of paint built up in it. Look at that.
Oh, my.
Yeah, like colors we haven't even sprayed with today.
Keith, he used, it was black primer, right? Just our rattle can black primer, our spray primer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Payne's gray. That's what his undercoat was.
Yep. You can see it on these.
Payne's gray.
That's just the Payne's gray over the black. These will be my sanguinary guard. They'll be gold, so we're not painting them in the red.
Will you varnish? Zeth is asking. Will you varnish all of these at the end? You don't do a varnish, blanket varnish, do
I don't
you?
normally do a blanket varnish. It doesn't mean I won't.
It's good for if you're going to play them a lot.
I mean, this guy was painted 2 years ago. And we handle him a lot on stream and stuff, but he hasn't been pushed around a table a lot. So I might hit him with a varnish at the end. Since I'm doing it all non-metallic gold, nothing's going to change when I hit it. When you're doing metallics, a lot of times people ask, hey, if I'm doing a lot of metallics, what do I do to make sure I don't, blow out my metallics when I go to do the varnish? Well, you're going to flatten out your metallics by adding a matte varnish to them. But I need to put all these in the back row.
Yeah.
But you can then do a spot gloss over the top of them. You can take gloss varnish and put it over just the area with metallics. Do that with a paintbrush, not with a airbrush, and you're fine. That makes life a lot easier for you when you do that. I forgot that, I didn't pay attention to these shields much, so I need to... Let's get a little bit on there. I feel like my nozzle is gumping up. Just a sec.
Yeah, you're good.
Sorry, Chris.
Hey, you don't have to apologize to me.
Well, I will anyway.
Why are you sorry?
Because you're late.
Late for what?
I don't know. What
I
are you
live
doing?
here, dude. What are you
Oh,
talking
that's
about?
right. You live in the parking lot.
Vince V was saying he probably likes to varnish his whole mini, then paint any true metallics on top, only after the varnish.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. It seems like a lot of effort when you can just gloss varnish over your metallics or satin, mix your gloss and your matte together and get a really good finish. I think you probably are best served to paint your metallics as you're putting the whole composition together rather than trying to sneak them in at the end when you've matted everything else down. But everybody their own, right? There's as many ways to paint as there are painters, and I respect Vince tremendously. So if he likes doing that and you think it's going to work for you, go for it. I think that at the end of the day, what helps the most is completing the model as close together as you can so that your whole composition reads right. And then just, spot gloss it. That's what I've done for decades.
So you're saying the next step after this is a little bit more precision highlighting.
I knew that was just bubbles I was putting in there.
Oh, just bubbles, you said?
Yeah, this paint that I have, my orange red, has a lot of air in the bottle because it's almost empty.
Oh, hey, you gotta let me know if you're running out. I'll get you some.
I mean, we're fine for here, but it was just funny that it's at that point where there's a lot of air in the bottle. So as I'm squeezing it into the airbrush,
Yeah.
I'm getting more air than paint.
Your hand is so red. That's awesome.
Yeah. This is my Blood Angels paint scheme.
So you do the precision highlighting after this step. That takes a little bit longer, you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, this is more precision than any of the other coats we've done so far, but it's still not, What is going on? I've pushed it too far, chat. My paintbrush doesn't want to do anything the way I want it to do it now. It's screaming at me, chat. I only have 5 more models to go. Don't give up on me now.
No, you're good. Zeth is asking, do you pick non-metallic instead of true metallics because of the preference or actual composition of the army display? Ooh, great question.
I think it's kind of both. I mean, we painted that ultramarine here recently, and I showed you how I would do metallics on that, and it turned out really, really good.
So good.
So there's a good way to do them. It's just harder to control, so you have to set the whole, in my opinion, you have to set the whole model up for metallic paints. Meaning that how you control your contrast across the whole model is going to need to really be paid attention to so that it matches the way that shiny paint looks. I like non-metallic metal because it's easier to control where your highlights and your shine are. Keep it even, consistent. I believe very strongly that as miniature painters, what we're doing is, painting a small slice of time, basically a photograph of this model in the story we create for it.
Oh, I like that.
And in saying that, if metallic paints are being used, they disrupt that a little bit for me, because as you move the model around, the shine changes, right, from the metallic. So again, not wrong or right. I think it's really just a personal preference thing. I like non-metallic. I've been doing it for decades. Although, 10 years ago, I painted a lot more metallic than I do now. When I was doing commissions. Because not everybody wanted to pay for non-metallic paint.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like, speed. Again, what did you want? But it always felt a little false to tell people that, oh, non-metallic's better. No, it just takes longer. So it costs more. But once you get good and confident with it, then you can do non-metallic in the space of time you would do metallic paints in. And it just becomes a preference thing. Some people really hate the way non-metallic looks. I can't fault them for that.
Nick, we're going to be working on these guys for a little bit. Jason is going to be out this week, but me and Jordan will be on stream the rest of the week.
They will not be working on my models.
I will be finishing up Jason's entire army personally. So, yeah.
Well,
I'll finish him up.
Back. I guess I'm getting what I get. Yeah.
No. We'll pick these guys back up when Jason gets back. I wanted to show you guys essentially some airbrushing.
Boy, this is going to be a very tumultuous couple of weeks, because then we got Nova.
We do. We're very busy, chat.
Wow.
But this is what I wanted to show you, because me, Jason, and Gabe will be at Nova. Maybe Jason will take some of these guys and paint them at the booth at
That's
Nova.
my plan, is to take these to Nova and be painting them at the booth.
Yeah. We're going to be doing... Hey, and somebody was asking, yes, we will be at Nova. Please come stop by. Me, Jason, and Gabe will be there. Sugar Rush, can't wait for Nova. I'm not going, but I want the new trainer. Yes, the new trainer. I will not be taking the DA100 and Bag of Grill. No. Those are still in development. 2054. Get ready. No, we will not be at ReaperCon.
Is it the same weekend as Nova again?
I don't know. Maybe?
I feel like it usually is.
And Nick is asking, what's the next highlight color going to be? What's that eclectic salmon you were talking about, Jason?
I take the orange red and I mix in. It's the only mix in this entire red setup. It's the orange red mixed with warm flesh.
Game Delay says, stop by the booth, bring your gold non-metallic metal questions. Absolutely. That's what we're going to be there for. Hanging out with the community, looking at all the pretty things. There's going to be a sub-texture trainer category this year that we've been talking about. You've probably seen it on our socials. So if you are painting a texture trainer, we're going to have our own sponsored prize for that category in Nova. And the Kieran's coming out that we teased on Christmas. And by Christmas, I mean July 25th, Christmas in July. Check you out, Jason. How do you feel there?
That feels like accomplishment.
That feels great. Give us a recap.
We just painted however many dudes this is, 21.
Did a little bit of batch work.
Yeah. 21 of our Blood Angels in the scheme that will eventually look like this. So...
oh, look how vibrant that looks on all of them like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're missing. The only thing we didn't get to is that final highlight with what we call eclectic salmon. Like I just mentioned, it is the orange red that we just sprayed with warm flesh mixed in. So all these colors that you see me do, we've done with zero thinning right? So no thinning at all. And just layer after layer after layer. The idea, if you want to pop in close.
Sure.
The idea being that we start with that Payne's Gray base. Go in super close on this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're looking at it from this, and it all just looks like red. Especially with my hand all red. Right? And then what we really have is that Payne's Gray shadow, that royal plum midtone, the pyro red and the orange red all blending in together, right? So I haven't covered up 100% of any of my colors. They're all working across the whole model to give me a very lively red that still gives me cool shadows, right? You can see mostly Payne's Gray up on that thigh, up underneath.
Dark plum, not royal plum.
Dark plum. I keep saying royal plum.
Yep.
Good God.
You're good.
And it gives us a really, really nice look to get our red built up off of. And then when we go in with the Eclectic Salmon, which you see on this guy, right? That's the next step. See those bright spots?
Yeah.
That's what we put on the model next. And that's just kind of a peach color. We don't have a color like that specifically in the line. I'll be making one just because it works so well for red highlights. But it's warm flesh in with the orange red. And so we'll do that. You can see that's going to take a little bit more time because it is spotted. Like, you want to get just the shine where you want it on the gorget and all that. Once you get all that placed, then you do the edge highlighting around it. And the edge highlighting goes in and hides, kind of the specific placement of the color and get you back to where it looks like shiny red armor.
Yeah.
Or, dull shiny. And then we do all the gold. Then you just finish the owl.
Painting Bite says, "Are we stopping here? Are we doing the whole way?"
Yeah, no. Chris won't let me.
I said you could. I said you could.
Nick Cortez 1-to-1 ratio on the red orange. I think it's probably more. You'll see me when we mix it. I don't really ever. I just go it till my eye says it's the right color. I do it very thin so I can build it up. So again, you save yourself a little bit of needing to know the exact mix by going thin. Because if it's too bright, you can layer it thin and it won't be as bright over the red. It inherits the value of the color underneath it. But I would say probably 2 parts of the orange red to 1 part warm flesh to start. We'll see how that goes. It's easy to fall into the trap of saying, yeah, it's just 50-50. Sometimes it's not.
8-hour paint challenge. No, not today.
We could. I gave him the option. Right now. You heard me here.
AC went out today, and it's not conducive to doing any Warhammer. Architect, I hear you on that one, man. If the AC is out, ain't nobody painting.
Eclectic Salmon has been teased for years, says Panic Bomb.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so we got a really good group of Marines going together here. I'm excited. This is going to be a really good-looking couple of squads. I'm really excited to paint the Praetor.
Yeah, he's cool.
I found all sorts of bits. The skull crown bit thing from the Dark Age of whatever it was. And then all these other crazy bits. I don't know where these resin things came from. Some eons long ago army that I was putting together. They may be from the Emperor's Children from forever ago.
Oh, that's not even a part of that sculpt?
No, this is a resin Forge World bit, the cape. They're just little waist. Cool. They're just little waist capes that were on Terminators. Oh. I think they were Emperor's Children Terminators. I think I've had them literally since Mathis had me paint his Terminators when we discovered that we needed to make Pro-Acryl. I think they're that old.
Dang.
I think it's probably like 8 or 9 years of these things laying around. So wow. I had enough to do all of my leaders. So all of the jump pack Centurions and stuff have got them too.
Oh, you've got more of them. Nice. Yeah, right. That's cool. You do have a lot of bits.
Good. Yeah, tons. So. Yeah, a lot of GW bits, a lot of 3D printed bits and stuff. This, the GW Paragon sword and stuff like that. So, neat deal. Great way to create a Praetor for jump packing. Ah! And then I kill him. And then we break him into a million pieces. That'd be great. Black Wolf, yeah, exactly. Some of these bits are from 8 or 9 years ago. Thank you, everybody. We sure do need AC in Arizona. Yeah. I saw this thing that was posted up where somebody in England was saying that they wanted to stop hearing people in Florida and Arizona griping about them not knowing heat. They were like, it's like 30 degrees C and they don't have AC.
Ugh,
and I'm like, 30 degrees C is like winter. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's 120 here.
Yeah.
It's like 46.
Yep. That's right.
I do not want to be outside. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you saw some neat stuff. We're going to continue to talk about my philosophy as we work through this. We're getting to the heavy lifting, right? This stuff was what and I'll be very honest, this is what usually gets me jazzed for army painting, is seeing how quick I can put together stuff like this. I could have done this on a Saturday. It's taken us 2 hours to do this while we're flapping our gums and talking and having fun with you guys. On a Saturday coming up to the office, I could have gotten 80 of these guys done to this level in just a few hours. And so that feels like progress. You get a whole slew of red dudes. And then you start, like I said, what happens is the time starts growing the further you get through the model, because the closer you get to all the details, the longer it takes to do all the stuff. So that's where you have to start tuning your brain to say, do I really want to spend a ton of time on all the details? Do I want to just do a single coat on a lot of the details and then a wash and spend no time on it? You have that choice, but you need to make that choice as you go along consciously and not try to get yourself backed into a corner of making bad decisions just because you're tired of it. That's the only type of planning that I think you have to think into. I say it all the time, is that, what do you want the final thing to look like? And then once you discover what that is, then you're great. Like me, I'm an idiot. I say I want these to look like, basically display characters, every single one of them. Then we're screwed and it never gets done, but we're going to try to finish them here. So we'll see what happens. You'll see on the troops how we paint the non-metallic gold will be a lot sketchier than on the main characters and the sergeants and stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. Everybody, thanks so much. Make sure to check out all the links that Chris put in chat. Check out monumenthobbies.com, monumenthobbies.eu. If you're in the EU, our store is open there, shipping direct from our Monument team over in France now. They are doing the Lord's work over there. Great stuff. All the products are in stock, other than, I think, Sable and Pro Synthetic brushes aren't, but the Dauntless brushes are. So a lot of stuff over in the store over there, including all the Pro Curl stuff. Lots easier to get it rather than having it shipped overseas. Love to see you over there. Make sure to join the Discord. 6,000 plus amazing artists just like you guys and gals hanging out with us in the Discord all the time. Great fun. Make some new friends. Share some inspirations. Great place to be. And remember, we usually stream Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. I will not be with you for the rest of the week, it turns out. I didn't realize that.
Nope.
I thought for sure I was here on Wednesday, but I'm not. So I've had fun with you today. And then I'll be back next Monday. And then next Monday, we're only here for Monday, Tuesday. Not even. Oh, yeah, Monday, Tuesday. Because we leave Wednesday.
Oh, we do leave Wednesday. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll leave Wednesday. So we're here for Monday, Tuesday next week, and then we're at Nova Open. So if you're going to the Nova Open in Washington, D.C., we'd love to see you there. It'll be a lot of fun. So it's going to be really spotty. I apologize. We usually don't do that. We usually don't have literally 3 days of me inside 2 weeks. That's crazy.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
That's tough. So these 2 weeks will be a little sparse, but then right after we get back from Nova, we'll be back on track until gosh knows what happens after Nova. Nothing until October-ish.
Nope.
We got the whole month of September where we'll be smooth sailing and doing lots and lots of Blood Angels and painting my hand red. So. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid. So show some love in the chat we wind up in, and we will catch you back here later.
Yeah, at some point.
Bye, guys.